Today I'm going to tell you the story of two companies. Now stop me if either one of these sounds familiar. Company A and Company B, they both started about the same time. They got into the business around the same year. They both went to trade shows, built a distributor network. They were on the phone every day making sales calls, and they both put up a decent looking website. Both these websites had their product line on there. Over the course of time, Company A, they were still, making sales calls, going to trade shows, and beyond putting their product line up on their website, they didn't do a lot of additional stuff to their website. They didn't do a lot of marketing through other things like social networks or anything like that. They were relying a lot on their proven tactics of what it took to make sales. Now, Company B, they did the same things. They went to trade shows, built up distributor networks, they made phone calls. But one thing that they did that was very clever is whenever a customer would have a pre-sales question or they'd buy one of the pieces of their product line, they'd have a question, they would take that information and then they would answer it in a web page on their website. And then that way, people would Google those questions and they would find that page and their questions would be answered. And they also did other things like making PDFs that could be found on their website. They invested in recording YouTube videos that not only explained how their products worked or where to buy them, but they actually got case studies from some of their customers and some of their customers' customers. So they had a whole bunch of stories about how their product was transforming people's lives, making their lives better, making their work easier, making their work more efficient, and just generally creating a lot of goodwill. So at the end of 5 years, Company A, they still had about 40 or 50 pages on their website. They were ranking for 100 keywords or so. But Company B, they had about 500 pages on their website, plus about 100 YouTube videos, and they were ranking for about 2,000 keywords because of all the content that they had created. And so Google also saw that Company B was trying very hard to give their customers what they wanted, giving them a place to check out, answering any question that they would have in pre-sales, post-sales, and showing evidence of how their product line was superior to all the other ones in their industry. And as a result, Google started ranking Company B ahead of Company A and a bunch of other companies in that space. Now, this story of Company A and Company B is not meant to pick on any scenario, any companies in particular, because believe me, I have seen this play out among several different verticals, many different situations where you could say that you're either Company A or Company B. The moral of the story that I want you to take away from this is I want you to act more like Company B than Company A. I want you to start investing at least 5% of your time, your labor, your resources into creating content that's going to be found by your customers. There's only so many keywords that one web page can be found for. So if you're taking all the information that your customers are giving you and you're creating web pages and videos and audio and PDFs that can be indexed by Google, you're not only going to do better in search, you're going to drive more traffic to your site, you're going to end up getting more sales. And if you spend every few years or so, you refresh your website, you really focus on improving pages as you go along, improving the overall user experience of your site, and making things more streamlined for your customers and more pleasant to be on your site, then those efforts are going to only increase exponentially. So that's my advocation to you. Invest your time wisely, invest your resources wisely so your company can grow. Be an active part of your marketing efforts and realize that people are using their phone, they're using their computer to search for things before they ever pick up the phone to call you. My name is John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO, and we help manufacturing and industrial firms get found in Google and Bing, driving more organic traffic to their site so that people give you more requests for quotes. If you're getting value from this channel, I'd ask you to subscribe, because every week we're going to be publishing a new video. And if you have an SEO question that you'd like to see us answer, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. We'll answer it out in a future video for you. Until next time, peace. Once upon a time, not long ago,